Hi, welcome to A Punk with Toys. My name is Lawrence, and today we're going to take a look at the Delta-17 War in the Chateaus Delta Squad Infantry. Alright, so there are two versions of this figure. There is an A and a B, and on the back here, it tells you Delta Squad toy figures are available in either A or B versions. A is a lighter skin, B is darker. So I was actually wondering what it was on the Hella Dope Toy site where I picked these up at, and it didn't have a description on it. So now I know exactly what it is. It is on the back, and here on the card, it tells you everything that he comes with. But I kind of skipped ahead. But let's take a look at this. So here we are, the Delta-17. You see two different figures right there. And actually, now that I look at it, the artwork is darker skinned, lighter skinned. So here's everything that he comes with. All right. He got his rifle. I believe his rocket launcher, bazooka, whatever you want to call it. Figure looks nice. It's on a nice card back. Okay, on the back here, we have all the figures. We got the cross sell, and then you get a little bio about these figures. Now, if you're a big toy collector, you know that BBTS, Big Bag Toy Store, is now putting these up for pre-order. They're $27 each, but the main price at Delta-17 is $25. But you can also get them at a place called Hella Dope Toys. And if you use my code APWT, you get 10% off that. So you're paying, what, $22.50 per figure. It doesn't take a genius to figure out that math. And they have the whole series there. So if you're interested, head on over to Hella Dope Toys, where I drop a link in the description. But anyway, you guys want to look at this. You don't want to look at this anymore. So let's just get right into it. But before we do, if you like this type of content, you like Delta-17 stuff, take a second, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification so you're notified every time I drop something new about Delta-17. Now let's take a look at this figure. Alright, so I got the infantry figure open, and this is everything that he comes with. So he does come with the stand. It says Delta-17. It has one peg, which is perfectly fine. You can see all these ones in the back here that are using them. Again, some of you may be saying, hey, I thought you don't like stands. I don't like stands. But on 1/18 scale figures, I do believe that they are important, and I will give you a free pass for using them with those. All right, so here we have his backpack. All right, and as you can see, there's a couple flashbangs in here. You got a couple pouches, and you can see these ports. Now, the one thing that Delta-17 has done is I think that they've done a wonderful job of making it so you can carry everything on his person, which is awesome. So you got your handle that you can obviously grab it and just kind of walk with it. I think that's going to be pretty cool for some shots. All right, so quickly we'll take a look at everything he has. There's his gas mask, and it has some nice little detail to it. All right, and it looks like it's just going to clamp right around his head. So I think this is cool. I think we could probably use this on, maybe our man Stalker over here, or different figures like that. So we'll try that out when we get to the end. Here we have his bazooka, and you can already see where the dog bone is, so you can kind of plug it right in. You got your sight, got a spot for the rocket, and just a small little handle. All right, so here is the rocket, and again, there are 3 rockets. But again, decent detail for something this small. Now you can see where it's going to plug in. So quickly, we can just kind of take this, and then you pop it in there, and you quickly look at that, and that looks a lot like Bazooka's bazooka from the Real American Hero line. Is a little bit longer, that's for sure, but this can come out. We got this small little knife. All right, it's that Rambo knife. Looks good. No paint on it, but again, there is a difference when you're talking about 1/18 to 1/12 scale. There's so much more detail that goes into 1/12, especially comparing them to O-rings. O-rings have never been about super articulation or super detail. All right, and then here is his rifle. No trigger guard, which is fine because I don't have trigger fingers. You got your stock, magazine, Get the handle so you can carry it. Again, it looks really good. All right, and obviously it's different on the other side. So all in all, that looks good. So let's quickly kind of put everything on here. So we have the 2 ports for rockets. It's just going to go in the up position. And I'm assuming you're supposed to put 1 rocket. Again, these are small, so if you don't have small hands, you're definitely going to struggle getting all of these on there. And I have small hands. Let's see here. If I plug this in here, does it stay in there nice? Oh yeah, it actually does plug in. Look at that. Didn't even realize that. So it does plug in nicely there. So you don't have to worry about it falling out. All right. And we're going to take that, plug that bad boy right there. Then we got the spot for the knife. Now I will say this, be careful if, this one actually stays in nice and tightly. No issues right there. So with hers comes out a lot easier. So, Celesta, I don't know. I know what it is, and it's completely blanking me. All right, and then if you look here, it is made so you can take the mask and plug it in there. So now you don't have to worry about everything's going to stay on this person. He doesn't have to have anything on, and it doesn't fall out. Great design that they did there over at Delta-17. All right, so the first look at this guy, you're going to think he looks like sci-fi. All right, and again, this is the white one. I didn't realize it, not that it matters. But I was trying to figure out what the difference between A and B was. All right, so you got this nice shield. Again, looks like sci-fi. Just a little bit of orange paint, just kind of accents it. Black on the top, goes green all the way around here. You obviously got your headset built in, is what I believe it is. You got your pouches for your plate carrier. And on the back, it's definitely made to look where that's where the backpack is going to go, not just the whole. Pouches around the belt. Paint looks good. I don't know why O-rings seem to always have such good paint, where for some odd reason 6-inch figures tend to not be so good. Got your little shirt underneath it, which is gray, just makes it pop a little bit. Boots go all the way down. I hate when I say that. No knee pads, like I mentioned in the other one. I really love knee pads. So articulation is head goes down, go straight. And then obviously side to side. T-pose, which O-rings we're never going to have an issue just because how they're built. You get your swivel arm battle grip. All right. Again, 90 degree here somewhere. 90 degree right there. Swivel back and forth, up and down. Don't really get a good Jean-Claude Van Damme, just how they're made. You get your 90 degree knee bend. Then you have pegs in the foot. Now, what is nice about most of the new O-rings is they're doing this wrist swivel. Some of them you can pop them out. I think you can probably pop these out if you want, but I have no reason to. This makes posing with weapons so much easier. All right. So the other thing that they do is obviously they go straight. Now, I'm pretty sure this is one that it's having issues. Now, if you notice, it doesn't go into the full L. To get it there, you kind of have to push it up. Now, they had some issues with the T-bar right here. This is what goes in between. So if you worked on O-rings, if you worked on old G.I. Joe figures, you know how to replace these. But this was a huge issue. All right. Now, this is not one that they gave me. I ran out of those. And this is what the original ones look like. So you see how big that hook is? And how that one's not nearly as big? Now, the ones they gave me looked a little bit different, a little bit thinner, but this is the one that goes to an O-ring that I got a long time ago. We're going to swap it out, and we're going to see how it articulates. Now, I did a whole video, so I'm not going to make you watch through it. I'm going to change it and then get back to this. and then we'll go and see if it's changed anything. But I can tell you that I fixed it on our guy over here, Preacher, and it made a huge difference. And then I also changed it on this guy, which I can't think of his name. So let me stop this. I'm going to throw it on there, see if it makes any difference, because this is as far as it can go, and it's really not that good. But it is something that they do know about, and they will address it on the next wave. Okay, so it took me about 6 minutes, 5-6 minutes to do it. And I will show you here, new T-bar in there, and he definitely moves up more than before. So that's how they're supposed to go, almost a 90 degree. This way you can fit them in, let's say this, or Stinger, or Vamp, something like that, right? So let's go ahead and arm this guy up, and we'll see how he looks. So here we have everything. It just plugs right on, just like any other O-ring. And I did show in the last video that this here, these backpacks, they do work with, well, we'll grab Duke since he's right here. Their backpacks are universal, or the peg system. So I'll tell you what, the grain actually matches pretty well. So if you want to have Duke running around with the bazooka and a nice little knife and everything, gas mask, there you go. All right. It will not fit on these ones, which this figure came with Bumblebee, the Transformers crossover, because they changed the size of the peg, or back peg, back hole, whatever you want to call it. All right, so here we go with this guy. Let's get Duke out of the way. There's his rifle, and as I mentioned, one of the good things about this is now when you go to pose, we can change your wrists. So, and since they're more pliable, you don't have to worry about thumbs breaking. You can actually pry the hand open, like so, and wrap it around the barrel. So he's actually holding the rifle. And it really changes the complete look of an O-ring figure. Now, unfortunately, Super 7 is not doing this. Hasbro doesn't seem to be doing it with their G.I. Joe Transformer crossover. But every other O-ring designer seems to be doing it. All right. So, these figures are based on the 3.75 height. That's 3 inches. 3.75 inches. But they do have two figures. One being Rooster here, that is based on a 4-inch figure. The other one being Preacher back there, right? So quickly take this off here. Oh, you can watch the Preacher video. When you put them side by side or back to back, you can see that they are different heights. All right, and I do like that. Again, I'm a short guy, and everyone's not the same, but O-rings have always been the exact same height. But here we go. You can see two different heights on these figures, which I think is absolutely awesome. So anyway, here we go. We'll compare these guys. I'll feature stuff on him. And at the end of the video, I will post a link to Preacher. And in the description, I'll drop a link to replacing out the T-ring. Now, if you don't, or the T-bar. If you don't have the T-bar, then you can contact Delta-17, and they should be able to send you some out. I'm assuming most people know how to change it. So, there is a look with him next to, there is a look next to him to Preacher, another Delta-17 figure, and then to the original O-ring Duke. Here's a picture of him next to the HasLab Night Force Ripcord. Up here we have a Skeletron figure. This is another set of O-ring figures that is coming out. And there's a few lines that are coming through there, one being call sign longbow, going to use some of the similar parts. So as you can see, they're very similar. You can swap them. They're interchangeable with O-rings. I don't have a problem changing them out with the modern 4-inch figures. But quickly, I forgot to do this. I'm going to take the gas mask. Well, I got to move this up again. And even I can't look at this. This desk is like super low. All right. So, there's his head there. I'm going to pop the gas mask on. I guess it just sits on just like that. It actually fits pretty well, to be honest. I guess if it really came down to it, if it is too loose, just put a little bit of sticky tack on the inside, and it'll keep it on there. So let's throw it on our Transformers Stalker. So it does go on. It is too small or too big. But if you take again, just a little bit of sticky tack, you'll never see it, and that's actually pretty damn cool. How about Delta-17? You give us a pack of these, because I like this. Will it fit on one of their other figures? Yep, the same issue on Rooster here. It just kind of falls down. So it is specifically made to go, probably because of this big head on him. But again, I like this. I love what they do here. I'm going to take this. Take the bazooka off, the rocket launcher, whatever you want to call it. Throw it in his hand. And gonna pose better than probably any bazooka from a Real American Hero line that you could. Just the wrist articulation is so huge with these. I absolutely love it. I really wish people would start doing ankle cuts. I don't want ankle rockers, just ankle cuts. So if I want to pose the figure like this, let's say, I can put this foot back and then turn it, and then he'll actually stand a little bit better. But hey, look at that. I got him on standing pretty much on one leg, or 1 foot and 1 toe. So there you go. That is our Infantry. I actually like this figure a lot. Okay, I'm not done. I lied. I forgot to throw him in our All Striker. Now, this is not a new All Striker, or this is the new All Striker. This is the Walmart exclusive from a few years ago. So it's the same mold as what we had with our vintage Real American Hero. It's just made for the modern 4-inch. And this guy goes in really easily. I got Rooster in, but he has big, longer legs because he's built on the 4-inch buck. So I struggle a little bit getting him in here. But as I mentioned before, the wrists, because the wrists just have that little bit of articulation turning, you can grab the wheel perfectly fine. And man, as I mentioned, with Rooster in it, you guys need to do some sort of some sort of Jeep in this color Delta-17, because you got figures that it just fits with. All right, that's it. All right, so there you go. That's the Delta-17 Infantry Trooper. Again, if you like O-ring, you like 1/18 scale figures, you need something to go with your Joes. You're like, hey, it's just been too long. This is exactly what you need. I really do think Hasbro does a wonderful job with the Star Wars retro line, retro collection, where they're still creating five points of articulation figures to go with your vintage figures, right? To me, it's really cool. I think this is the retro line, the vintage. I don't know. It's a 5 POA. Anyway, G.I. Joe doesn't really do it. They tried doing it. They're letting Super 7 do it, but Super 7's taking the sweet old time now. They do some with the Transformers line, but that's really on the Transformer line, not the G.I. Joe. But these just blend so well with your O-ring figures. So if you are interested, you're like, hey, it's been a long time. I need some new lore. I need something that's going to go with my Joes. This is it, man. This is it for you. Again, you can get them at that one store. It's big and it's bad and it sells toys. Or you can go to Hella Dope Toys, where they're $2 cheaper They have the whole wave, or at least they did at one time. And you can use my code APWT, a punk with toys, and save yourself 10% because who doesn't like saving money? Anyway, I'm going to get out of here. But hey, you stayed this long. You know what that means? Go to social media, Instagram, a punk with toys. We got the Facebook group page, Punks with Toys, because once you join, you're a punk with toys. Now you stayed this long, take a second, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification so you're notified when I drop more Delta-17 news, figures, and everything like that. Now I'm getting out of here. Don't go anywhere. Up here, you're going to see the review of Preacher. Down here is the playlist of all the Delta-17 stuff that I've done. Take care.